All right. People are still coming in. Good afternoon, or whatever it may be. So, who's in here? Welcome, welcome. All right. So, where did we leave off? We left off looking at last week the potential for the fake break confirmation, which was going to suggest a further retracement. And that's what it did, and that's what it did. So, we were here saying if these fake breakout patterns confirm, because we saw that selling weakness, profit taking. We get back below there, it was likely coming back and really giving you an opportunity. As we were saying, if it just continued after such a pattern without coming down, it would have been really a more rare runaway sort of trend. So we got that. Like I said, when we see a lot of profit taking, and we mimic that, we're in the same position as the big money where they want the lower prices again. So it typically does come to you. Told you to just be patient, right? So what we're seeing on the way down is not a lot of buying. First of all, we hit this, which tells you what? They might be really waiting for lower prices still. Oh my God. Oh geez. Well, that's pretty. So that is a big telling situation here that we got to initially, right? A lot of selling and then not that much buying in the fib area, 14 EMA, 618 overshoot stuff, right? A bit of buying. But that does tell you they're likely looking for lower prices, right? When you see something like that, right? Because again, this is just the beginning of where we can look to buy. That's the way they look at it too, apparently. So that suggests they wanted lower prices, right? Were we able to read that on some of these initial down moves and say, okay, they're not really buying. Maybe they want a bit lower, right? And then a little lower comes in and they start buying a bit more. Not that much, right? But that would be a situation here where you probably would, unless you're somehow committed still to a large amount in this price area, but you know, want to be doing some limited buying if that's your plan in this area to buy some more off of something like that. But it's not huge, you know. So with that, you might want to go a little smaller than you had originally planned in this price area, right? So that's Bitcoin, but that's generally the story where the first spot where, you know, they could have been all over this, you know. Here we got slightly lower prices, really limited buying. So for me, it's buying a small amount here and waiting for lower prices. Of course, if it just takes off, good. I was able to buy some more on this retracement. But I'm listening to the chart and seeing all this weakness and not seeing the buying come in, you know. According to what the chart says, it's basically one of two things, I guess you could say, where first thing is smart money is again waiting for lower prices to buy. They're not doing this big, you know, buying on a retracement expecting a trend. They want to buy larger at lower prices. So, and those prices are typically obvious. We'll get to that. Um, and secondly, they did it. This was not some, you know, some runaway trend that was going to be going for, you know, a month. You know, some of these big moves that happened in the last couple of weeks, and just trend up. You know, zigzag its way up. They did not believe that that's the case, and that's not what was going on there at all, right? Pump and dump is kind of a term I've heard before. I don't know. Something you do in the bathroom. Pump and dump is perhaps applies here. I don't know, but you get my point. That bullish outlook went away real quick with all that profit taking, and then now uh, not very active on the buying, right? So we're holding some, and if it continues up from this point, fine. And what we're holding again is going to reflect what they're holding. They want the lower prices. They do. And hopefully you can see, right, since last week that's what the chart's telling you, right? Hopefully everybody gets that. That's your conclusion here, right? The sell activity, the buy activity, the buy activity, and then now we're just having this slow, right? Buyers very, very light. So that typically means you'll get the lower prices. Again, buying in a small amount, especially after you've sold off a lot, right? Most likely you have sold off a lot. And then you get a fake breakout pattern, right? Green, green. You get a bit of buying, and you could start building a position. Here's a little support, right? And then you could start lightly building a position again there, right? Does everybody get the idea? This should be not, nothing I'm saying here should really be different from what you've already concluded from the course and then looking at the charts. So let me know if there's any questions. But that's certainly the conclusion everybody should make. Very light on the buying. They want lower prices. Again, here, I'm not going to draw the fib. I hate the fib drawing on this thing. Right, the fib retracement here, 14 the 100 EMA. We're just not seeing it. So, can you come back? Where's my volume indicator? Oh, that's fun. That's fun. What, this button? Gosh, really? Thanks. All right, good. That kind of stuff makes me stand MT4. All right, we're on AJ now. So what else? Any questions? So I guess you're in one of two places. Everyone here, you're either, I'm on the 1 hour chart now. 1 hour chart's too crazy. You don't need all that. You're either just starting out and now, as I pointed out, just starting to be able to build a position on some of these that are correct to do so, but really keeping it light, listening to the chart. Um, so you're just starting out, or some of you have just taken all that profit, sold off back on the, over the last week, and are now maybe just starting to buy again after having most of your account back into cash, right? And now starting to lightly buy. We're light buyers right now, very light. That's about it. Any questions? Really simple, clear storyline, right? So, what would the projection be? I mean, it's not like day trading where I have to pick a bias and do this and that, but sometimes, especially when you have a major level nearby, and then you can look at some other and see that they're more or less the same, have a major level nearby. It's common sense here where we're likely going to get there if we're not seeing much buying through here, right? We're likely getting here, maybe a fake break. So if this comes in, like what's going to make me want to buy, you know, see some activity on the buying, the more the better in that area. And that would make me, and this is just a similar pattern on a lot of them, kick up the buying percentage a little bit, right? Something like that. More volume, the better, right? They're really holding off for now, keeping it light. But that's a possibility based on how things tend to behave in this situation. You hit something and they show up. If they don't show up, that really tells you something, right? So the importance of that level. Generally, Litecoin doing all right there. That, and then the new low ground here. So you get the idea where if the buyers are going to start showing up, these are the areas you need to see the volume really pick up, or else maybe they're just going to wait for lower prices. And wouldn't that be funny? Everybody started talking about Bitcoin and cryptos again. Once we got up to 11, 12, and they start buying, and then we go what? When we go back down to 9, I don't care. That's fine, right? Plan for anything. Go back down to 10.5. That's fine. Maybe a big buy off of this area, right? And it just ranges, and that's a 20% increase right there. So whatever, right? Right. But that's the most important piece of information I could give you is you see the amount of buying is limited. Make sure you're mirroring that to some extent. And they did sell off a lot. So again, when you were taking profit up there, those of you who are doing that, so did they. And we're all in the same boat now. But they're just not as bullish as, as the hype may have led you to believe. I don't know. Was there any hype? I don't know. I was hyped personally, but that's different. So what else? I got nothing else to say. Any questions? Hello, hello. 10 people here. Everybody knows what they're doing. No, no, no. Okay. Do you want me to still do these things? I guess we'll just like plan for half an hour. Sorry for the late start today. You want me to still do it? I can do it. It's up to you guys. But really, really, I don't think I told you anything that you couldn't have figured yourself. And there's nothing else. I wouldn't even add anything to this. If you want to draw some fibs, yeah, I left out the fibs, I guess. But very simple. After some serious profit taking, you should be very lightly starting to build up on some of them, right? But the big message from the charts is buyers are keeping it light for some reason. And typically, because there's going to be lower prices soon. That's the message from the chart. How do you know if the trend was to change to bearish? Well, it could right now, right? We have all that selling, but it doesn't matter. If it comes down, we're going to see where the buyers come in. I mean, if it continues to come down, generally here into these lower areas, and you want to call it quote bearish, because I don't really think of it that way. It just means that the discount is coming. But if it's coming down, again, you have these key levels to show you that buyers are not doing their thing, and there's already a hint of that. So, but if it wants to zigzag its way down and you want to call that bearish, that's fine. I want to see where the buyers are going to come in, how much, tell me when to buy, and that's all. I'm not really worried about the trend, so to speak, or a bearish, bullish bias. You know what I mean? I'm just mocking what they're doing for the most part. If it ends up in a downtrend, you probably won't see much buying. So therefore, I'm waiting. I'm keeping it light. I'm looking for the lower prices. I mean, if you look to your left in the recent price area, just look at the recent price areas. There's a lot more selling than buying, for the most part. Definitely here. That's why the indicator's handy. You just see lots of red on the higher ones. Although there was a mix here, but certainly selling. But where's the buying? It's kind of chilled, especially as lower prices are coming in. If it's not popping up like that, but definitely chilled out. That's the message from the chart. Link is nice, and I bought some of this after this occurred. So this is suggesting it's a little ahead of the others, attracting some serious buying here. Fake break, right? So that's probably the only one that shows really some strong buying right now. And again, if you're mocking that, maybe you went a little more on link. You went according to your plan as opposed to others where you really went lighter than what you might have planned to buy in this area because of the low buy volume. But in this case, this is good, healthy stuff, right? So would you continue to buy rather than sell off positions? If it was in a downtrend, I don't sell during a downtrend. I sell high, buy low. Because you're saying, would you continue to buy rather than sell off positions? So if you're talking about a downtrend, so selling during a downtrend, come on, you know this. Selling off the coins you have before they lose value. Well, that's what the big red things are, the sell points. So at this point, you've sold off most of what you've bought. Most, majority. Like I said, you have your account back into mostly USD or whatever country you're in, and you're starting to lightly buy where you're seeing it on some of these. And Litecoin has sorry, Link has a bit more here. But if I'm holding a small amount still after this and it's coming down, that's fine. I'm not, you need to be owning more crypto on the way up than you own on the way down. That's all. If you want to sell off the whole thing, you can. But you're holding more on the way up than you are on the way down. That's how you profit. Have you thoroughly watched the course? Come on, this is easy for you, Phil. Have you watched the course? Only halfway through. Getting more coffee. Get out. Okay, I have a suggestion for you, Dr. Phil, to answer your questions. Watch the course. Go watch it now. Get out. I'm booting you. I'm kicking you out. All right, good talk. Jonas, explain what the fake break is in Link where it signaled you for to buy other than the volume. And did you buy twice on the initial volume spike? And you're asking about Link, right? Yeah. So here's what I did. This nothing. It's not even at the 100 EMA. So I stick to that rule religiously. It's gotta get there. Um, so no buying there for me. But obviously there was buying going on. I can do better than that though. Come on. So that creates a support going forward, which is obvious just from the price, but also knowing logically for a fact that's an area where large buying came in for whatever reason. Who cares why? So that's what they're doing here on this one. Okay. So going forward, I did nothing because it's not the 100 EMA. Then you finally get to the 100 EMA, and then you get this nice sign of buying here, closes up, and then at this point, it confirms the fake breakout right there. So, you have your options to get in, but that's the point at which you really need to be if you're looking to buy off of this pattern. And, so certainly buy there. Buying sooner is not crazy either. But this is a little safer and confirming that pattern, like we were talking about coming down. Remember last class, and that the fake break pattern confirmed that it was likely going to continue. This confirms bullishness when you see that pattern, so that helps if you want to wait for that, for the probability they'll move up off of this area. If you buy a little lower, you get a slightly better price. So, but that's obviously where it confirmed at that point. Now it's acting as support. So that's the area that would be correct so far here. But the initial volume spike, yeah, that's a trick question. Did I buy there? Because it didn't get to the 100 EMA. So I really stick to that rule. What else? This guy, what do you do with something like this? Well, lower prices are going to tell you about buyers, right? So let's do this. Like, what do we do with this thing, right? Okay. It's a, it went into a frenzy. It's not a normal pattern. It's pump and dump or whatever. It's disgusting. So now it's kind of finding its bearings again, right? And at least it's creating a very clear support. So if lower prices are going to tell us about buyers and, of course, 100 EMA, then if we can pop down into here, that would be the first buy opportunity, right? Over time, the 100 EMA is going to get pulled up. It's going to go higher and higher. So it could be, something like that where it finally meets up. So that's the first thing I would do there, is look for that. Are these lower prices, 100 EMA, going to show us a nice pop in buying volume-wise? Could confirm a fake break pattern. Again, if they don't show up here, or it's very light and I keep it light, or I don't buy at all because there's just not much buy volume coming in, right? Then you're waiting for lower. Whatever that is, let it build up a support. Let it tell you. Freaking draw a fib on this thing. Oh my gosh. Is it fun watching me struggle with this freaking platform? See, I can't get to the top now. Doesn't snap. Okay, look, it's 618 overshoot. Well, what do you know? And the buying here is decent. Now that I know what spot that is too. But if this thing can get through here and it doesn't see a lot of buying, it's going lower, right? That's the spot to really tell you what's going on. So I'd look to first start buying again here after this, unless you started buying, but that is incorrect because the 100 EMA is not with price yet. But again, the pump and the dump, we need some real buying to come in, hit the 100 EMA there. That'll be revealing if it can get down there. What else? Uh, if we missed the long on link, let me go back. No, it's pretty much the same price anyway. If we missed the long on link entry after the fake break, would it make sense to just go long now since, yeah, it's fine now. It's basically the same price. And you haven't seen any bad information here, like high volume selling. So, if there was a big spike here, red, then I'd say, okay, look out. But that's fine. Would it make sense to go long now since it's retracement? Yeah, exactly. Or is the probability not as high because it's up now? But yeah, so whatever you're comfortable with or whatever your plan says you're supposed to be buying in this area, if buyers show up, Again, some of them haven't, so you want to lighten it up or not do anything at all. But if buyers show up in this area, what's your plan, right? And they did show up, certainly. So yeah, and you're in a good price area. It's the same pretty much. That's what's good about this too. If you initially miss the perfect entry, you know, you got a little wiggle room. It's swing trading. It's all good. So yeah, again, so for those building up a position, which is pretty much all of us, either you're getting started or you've sold off a lot and you're building up again. But and that's what smart money doing. Uh, Certainly, Link has got your attention there, right? You're putting some on. So let's look at that again a little more. Where would I want to draw this? Oh my God, I hate this freaking thing. I need a laugh track when I start drawing things on this platform. I need a laugh. So I'm drawing the fib there because it's the bottom to the top of the trending move, right? As far as I see it there. So okay, dipped into fib. So that's extra telling. We already knew it was, getting well below the 100 EMA, getting below a buy area that was already established. That would be telling, but also that now we know it's in the fib area. If buying did not show up there, that would really say it's going lower. So really confirmed that that's happening there. Doesn't mean it can't continue down. Maybe do another dip into here. But they like Link, it looks like. Huh? So going forward, right, if you're starting to build up a position here, according to your plan, the next areas that are likely to show buyers, again, it's according to your percentage risk that you're supposed to be doing. This isn't much lower. If you bounce off of here, again, it's 618 overshoot. We see it a lot. This is the next level where buyers will be revealed, right? Getting below here and then down to especially there. So as you move down through here, we're really going to tell you what buyers are doing. In a situation like this, they're very likely to show up if we can even get there, right? So again, if they don't show up, if you're not seeing those volume spikes through here, that tells you something, right? So very important, very likely to see that buying opportunity here. And it's not so different in price. It's not some huge drop, but you can add according to your proper risk. You can just buy a small amount here off of something like that if it's looking good and confirm a fake break pattern or not even because really just that 618 overshoot, we know that. But if it pops up, then you got a fake break confirmed and all that. But that'll be very revealing there. So as the next opportunity, again, unless you went maybe pretty large here and you'd have to just wait for lower prices, and that would be too much percentage on this one currency. So you have to make sure you're not, overdoing it. But if you have a little room to buy more, a little lower, this is the key spot to find out about those buyers. Um, and again, that can give you that opportunity. And if it doesn't, it comes down to, and this is the basic thing, when you're breaking that 618, beyond the overshoot, and you're really moving down, let's say into this price area now, past the buy zone, you could call it, then you're very likely going to support. And you can, again, as we talk about, you can have this area where you're not going to do anything unless you see a support form and a fake break and huge buying. Something's really got to convince you. Otherwise, you're doing nothing through here, right? After this area breaks and looking to buy again there. And you'll be happy you did, right? If, of course, the buyers show up and it acts right. So that is, the thing that's showing the most buying, kind of a plan that you could apply as you're getting into this one now, building up. Key spot here. Again, we break through into this, starting into this price area. That suggests we're continuing down to support. And I would do nothing through here, then you're able to buy in a nice larger amount, right? This is, from 12 to 6, and you'd be smart and not buying there. And if you got in here and, price goes there, you're seeing profits now. If price goes here, you're seeing a lot of profit on all the buying that you did just to here, right? So when it comes to these areas, I really have to get convinced. Again, a support, a fake break, large buying to really convince me that I want to do something in this zone because it's here or here, right? Is the usual. So that should be helpful, right? And you could plan up to this point, this is 6. You're already pretty low. And at that point, just to always plan for everything, right? If it breaks through 6, just planning for the worst, right? Then maybe again, if it breaks through this key level, really is key here, and it breaks through, it's likely coming down to it's freaking crashing. You could, could wait and not buy again until 3.5, right? That's the idea. And if you buy some down here, and you do a little 50% retracement of this down move off of the low, you're in profit again, basically, more or less, right? So that's the idea. But that's just worst case scenario. This would be a nice discount price. Just gotta make sure those buyers are coming in. They should show up those key areas, very, very telling areas, price areas. The fib zone, the 618, and the major supports. So that should be helpful as we're kind of getting back into Link here. See the buyers. Any questions, let me know. Be right back. No questions? All right. I think people are getting the hang of it here, except Phil, who has to go watch the course. Nice stress-free swing trading, right? You start to look at the chart a little differently when things are trending down, moving down, and you're saying, "Oh, good, I get to buy again," and everybody else is selling off and panicking. And then the other side of it, when things shoot up and it's payday, and I start getting emails and text messages, "Hey, Pete, I want you to teach me how to trade cryptos." Uh, you're a little late. It becomes mainstream media news. Cryptos are up, and people start buying and getting in. Oh gosh, how's that working out? So you stay a step ahead, right? I'm bullying you. Sorry, Phil. You can take it. It's so easy. Just watch it. It's so easy. You'll have no questions. You'll just say, "Oh, okay, I get it." So, especially after March, when it melted down and gave the buy opportunity of the year, you really start to see things in a different way. And if there's a second wave this fall of the controller virus, just saying, might be a bit of a discount again. I hope not. For humanity, I hope there's no second wave, but it's going to be fine for trading. It goes on sale again because you probably get the second wave, and then you get into by the time we get to spring of next year, if there is a second wave, by the time we get to spring, you may have a vaccine. You may have definitely have better treatments. Doctors will have over time they're getting better and better at people living through it. and not dying from it. So all that stuff is improving no matter what. And if there's a second wave, it's a buy opportunity. Just take care of yourself. Just sit there at home alone with your mask on and buy cryptos, okay? Put the mask on your dog and double your money like Amar. Okay. It seems like there is more of buying incentive, and it's just about how low can you buy. It seems like there's more of a buying incentive. More in what way? And it's just about how low can you buy. Yes. Yep. You put 100 traders in a room. Who's going to do the best? Whoever's buying the lowest and selling the highest. It's ridiculously that simple. And you see them playing the game, and you just try to go with it. And when there's an overwhelming amount of buying, it's the majority are getting in. But when it's early and there's not much buying, it's not time. Is there potential for? You're talking about the forex. All right, that's fine. Well, at this time of day, since you are, you know, you're a good student tomorrow. I don't know what you're doing this time of day with this business, but oh gosh, the forex. I'm supposed to be on vacation. What am I looking at? A soft and okay. I can't do it on this shit. I need my MT4. Well, from first glance, while I'm loading up MT4, I don't even want to say that. Hold on, let me just get that going. I just can't do it on this charts. Okay, the forex. Here we go. Making me work. All right, so we got an uptrend that's gone sideways. What's happening in that sideways range? Oh, that was the last session. That was nice, right? Nice way to finish the sessions before the break. Everybody got those wins: $0, pound yen, pound dollar, whatever you took. So you're talking about, is there a buy? Well, let's see what's going on at the low. Some wild roller coaster stuff here. Well, finishing the day down here and just accepting these lower prices is not typically a bullish thing. We're not seeing accumulation and rejection and high volume in this area. So I'm not sure why you're talking about the buy at the moment. There's high volume leading to lower prices. Now, there was some buying on the way down, but that's going to happen. It's really not that much. So what I would be doing here is I don't see any reason to consider the buy. Of course, it could show up on high volume at lower prices tomorrow. Mark that low. And if it's going to turn into a buy that would convince me to buy, I would have to see this and high volume. 1 hour would have to be like at least here, right? So if that happens into this area, yeah. As of now, it could go either way. I'd also be fine with, especially after the way this low looked, selling. Yeah, I see the 5 minute buying. I see it. Maybe the pound yen is better. Yeah, a bit better. Okay. You see that, right? See how the pound yen is better? Let me reset. Which probably means the dollar yen is a little bullish. Whatever. So, reason why I say it's better is because we do see a little more straightforward accumulation through here. Not huge volume, but there. And then didn't quite get to support. And that's the highest volume. It's a Monday. It's a bit slow, but that's the most activity. And it didn't continue down as a result. And then the 5 minute is really spiking on that buying. So certainly there's buying through here. And that's the most activity that occurred today, Monday, was the buying in this price area, right? That's the most activity to our left right now. So because of the time of day. So going into tomorrow, again, this looks a bit better unless the pound dollar wants to shape up too. But this one definitely is, if that again, of course. But again, it's looking pretty bullish if it can continue to show accumulation is the point. If it does go down, and if it moves up, lack of weakness. So if you're able to see lack of weakness into higher prices and continuing to see whether it's a fib retracement here or double bottom fake break or in this area on a pullback, more buying than there is selling, then it's all good. Again, going off of the fact that yesterday the most activity was the buying off of this price area. So I do see that on the pound yen. Again, you see the difference here where there's not this consensus to start building long positions. Otherwise, it wouldn't float down so easily on low volume. So yeah, looking to buy the pound yen tomorrow on another dip in strength, or if it moves up, not seeing weakness and then having a retracement in strength, right? That pretty much sums it up. Looking at this real quick, now that you got me on these charts, I'm supposed to be on vacation. Yeah, again, that was a decent amount of volume, kind of slow yesterday, but for today, not really showing convincing buying through here, so maybe lower. And still being able to sell higher would be fine too. There does seem to be some buying throughout the down move. These three highest volume points are showing demand at lower prices. Typically, when you see that, you do reverse that area in the near future. So that's likely to happen. But if we're floating down, good, right? You're looking for the lower prices to buy. Maybe a fake break. Or even just I was going to say 618 overshoot, but we're already there. But if buying pops up here in large amounts, yep, you kind of see it on the way down. So that's likely to pop up there. Okay, I'm done. Jonas, questions are good. Why are you not a fan of the crypto strategy on Forex? Well, short answer is because, trading with leverage, having a limit to how much, drawdown, you get liquidated, you're left with nothing. The percentage changes are not quite as good. Um, when you're trading cryptos where we are, the big percentage swings are good and helpful. If you're doing this in the Forex world, big percentage swings, especially if you're applying exactly the same thing, big percentage down moves that, you know, could happen now and then alongside, the day-to-day small percentage down moves, which are limited in what it's going to pay you. Um, One could argue dollar and Bitcoin both have similar chances of dropping or zero going to the moon when compared to, or apply the Forex strategy on cryptos so that we are not staying in the trade when it's going down. The thing is, how I came up with what's how I trade cryptos is from what the chart is saying, and it's very, very different. So, for example, you can have, which I pointed out in the course, right? You can have an uptrend which shows weakness on very high volume. In the Forex market, we'd be looking to short. In the crypto market, it could continue up and do that 5 more times if it wants and keep an uptrend structure. The reason why it does that is because the big money is constantly buying low and selling high, buying low, selling high, and taking this approach. So that's why it's the safest approach over there. I'm doing what they're doing, really locking in to a certain extent. Now, the thing is about staying in the trade when it's going down. It's a it's a swing trading portfolio based thing. If the potential is there also for things to continue to trend up, even though you're seeing weakness, and there's going to be some point, whether it's in a month or a year or whatever, where you have some big, big up moves. And I want to be in there. I want to be owning some cryptos. Again, the thing is, when you buy the crypto coin, you have it no matter what. In Forex, you're not really left with anything. You just lose. And you're kind of, especially if you get margin call and all that, which is not going to happen here. So you always have the coin. I always want to own some no matter what. If it's going down, I'm owning a lot less on the way down than I am on the way up. And that's the nature of it. But you'll be glad you did it when there's uptrends that last a month, or it's these huge moves that can happen, and you're be glad that you held on to some of those coins if you want to go about it that way. But it comes down to, I didn't dream it up. It comes down to Forex and being able to day trade and follow that the smart money is taking advantage of, week in, week out, over a 2, 3, 4 day period. Sometimes they'll accumulate, they'll mark up, they'll reaccumulate, and this stuff takes place in these cycles. And then it's completely different over here where nothing could happen for a week. You could just be flat for a while, not much going on, right? And then you get your discount buy and you get your pumped up sell, and you have to go with that. Just go with it whenever that kind of comes and goes. Does that help? I could not possibly trade Forex in this way. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't work the same. The profits would be just tiny if you're going to have such small positions that you have to allow for price to really move around and do its thing. Just tiny gains. When was the last time you saw the euro dollar have a 50% gain? Yeah. But we just saw that on some of these. Now, that's me, right? Not to say you can do it. Of course, there's swing traders in Forex, of course. And they're buying low and they're selling high and they have their percentages worked out. Of course, that's possible. What else? All right. No more questions. We all know what we're doing. The story that the message that the chart is giving you, the chart is speaking to you. The chart says, we're buying light. This is, well, like I say, you can actually know what they're saying. It's like spying on the big money. You know what they're saying. And the conversation is, I guarantee you, many times over around the world, We're waiting for lower prices. We're not going to be buying much here. We expect it to come down. And we sold off a lot, right, at the high price, and we're waiting for it to come down. We're not in a rush to buy. If you want to know what the big guy's inside thing is, it's that. It's very obvious from the chart. No one got all excited over the last couple of weeks with this big up move on a lot of them, or almost all of them. Oh, here we go. We're trended up for next. We're buying. We're buying. Nope, not at all. So that's the message from the charts. Be patient. It's coming. Got to stay a step ahead, right? Everybody else just bought. All right, guys. Very welcome. So yeah, again, the Forex sessions are back on September 8th. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week on Monday. And if you're in the Skype chat, I can pop in there, see what's going on. All right, guys. See you soon.